Hello to all of you from around the world. I want to welcome you again to another beautiful edition of Soulivity Today, broadcasting live from our studio right here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California. My name is Brian Westley Johnson, and we have such an amazing show for you today. But before I get into our show, I want to remind all of you that if during the show you have a comment or a question, just post directly to our live feed and we will add to you our conversation. We'll get you in on this conversation. So let's get to today's show. Today is our regular Hot Topic Friday, where we explore different news stories and issues here in the United States from around the world. Every week, we cover almost every angle to bring you more very important information about things that you may or may not know, but it's all to keep you informed and inspired. So let's get to our first story coming from the island of Maui, where terrible fires have been raging for the last few days. Here's a little bit more information about it from Live Now from Fox.
In Maui, we're covering these wildfires right now that are happening in Hawaii. Pretty devastating stuff. We now know the death toll has climbed to 36, so that might continue to climb throughout the day. I would imagine it would as we get new details about what is happening there. So that's a live look there. You can see it looks a little smoky, and this is what we have been seeing, just complete devastation as acres upon acres just burned to a crisp there in Maui. Lots of people losing their homes and having to evacuate. We do have a report from Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork. He's got the latest for us. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Heartache in Hawaii as deadly wildfires continue roaring across the island of Maui.
I'm very emotional.
Cutting critical power to more than 12,000 people, destroying more than 200 structures as of Wednesday, with hospitals busy tending to burn victims and people suffering from smoke inhalation.
There's nothing left.
The historic town of Lahaina experiencing some of the most catastrophic damage, making it unrecognizable to the people who've lived and worked there.
What we saw looked like an area that had been bombed.
Dry vegetation and intense winds from passing Hurricane Dora combined to fuel the infernos.
This is really strong. I'd say this is about double, normal Maui upcountry winds.
And as evacuations continue,
All we have is the clothes on our backs, and we don't know what is going to happen next.
officials are urging remaining tourists on Maui to leave if they can, citing the need for available resources to be directed toward residents who've lost everything.
I know that the president is assessing the possibility, and I hope that it comes soon, a declaration of a national disaster so that there can be more federal resources brought to bear.
Forecasters expect strong winds to start settling as of Thursday as Hurricane Dora moves farther away, providing slight relief to crews battling the blazes. I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
Now, according to the Washington Post, here's more on what we know. Right now, the wildfires that tore through Maui killed 2 more people overnight, bringing the death toll from the Lahaina fire to 55. Now, Maui officials said Thursday evening the fire could be the worst natural disaster in Hawaiian history, the state's governor said earlier. We will continue to see a loss of life, Governor John Sheen said at a news conference, adding that rebuilding could take years and will be costly. It will take time to know the full extent, but it will be in the billions of dollars without a doubt. Now, President Biden declared a major disaster in Hawaii on Thursday and ordered federal aid to areas affected by the wildfires, according to the White House. More than 130 Hawaiian National Guard members have been activated, and helicopters are searching for those left behind in areas without power and accessible roads. Maui County officials said that the wildfire that caused widespread damage in Lahaina was 80% contained as of Thursday morning local time. A second fire on Maui was 70% contained, officials added, and the third fire is pending further assessment. Now, if you're led to send support for those affected by the fires in Maui, please contact the Aloha United Way, a Honolulu-based nonprofit organization, which has created the Maui Relief Fund that will go directly toward efforts supporting victims of the fires. Additionally, the Salvation Army's Hawaiian and Pacific Islands Division is also accepting donations to provide meals for thousands of displaced in the Maui emergency shelters. Listen, we're going to take a quick break, but don't worry, we've got even more Soulivity today coming up, including a story about what climate change scientists are calling an alarm for all of us. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Soulivity today is brought to you by Happy Travelers Tours and Old Vine Wine Tours. Find all of the Satana products at our Go shop at go.soulivity.com.
Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame, living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. Soulivity is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us, a place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime.
Hello there, we're back with more here on Soulivity today on a Hot Topic Friday. Listen, our next story comes from across the pond and from Sky News on what climate scientists are saying is an alarm bell for all of us. Let's take a look.
Now, scientists have warned that the planet's natural refrigerator, the Antarctic, could begin acting as a radiator, warming the planet further. They're asking the Foreign Office to begin investigating what they're calling potential cascading global impacts.
At the moment, it acts to cool the planet. It does an amazing favour for us. It reflects sunlight back into space. But if the ice is being lost and the snow is being reduced, then Antarctica starts absorbing heat and then acting to heat the rest of the planet, and that would exaggerate global warming. The second reason is that there's enough ice in Antarctica that if it all melted, the ocean surface globally will go up by many meters. Now, that might not happen in our lifetime. It might take some time to achieve it. But the reason it will happen in the future is because of what we're doing now.
Well, our science correspondent, Thomas Moore, has more for us.
Well, it is now midwinter in Antarctica and the sea ice should be at its maximum extent, but it is at a record low, far below the record set last July. In fact, there's something like 900,000 square miles of missing ice, and this is part of a recent trend that scientists are increasingly concerned about, not just on what's happening to the sea ice, but also about the rivers of ice, the glaciers running off land into the sea. They're picking up speed, and there has been an extraordinary heat wave, the most extreme heat wave the planet has seen in recorded history, that happened last March when warm air that came from Australia moved over to the Antarctic continent and raised temperatures 38.5 degrees above what they should be for the time of year. Now, it's the combination of all these factors that makes scientists concerned. They don't have lots of weather stations down on the continent, so they can't get the kind of data over a geographical area or over a period of time that they have in other parts of the world. So whereas elsewhere they're getting increasingly confidence in saying extreme weather events are in fact due to man-made climate change, here they don't know for sure. But it's the fact that there are so many other aspects of Antarctica which are under stress, seeing these extreme events, that makes them pretty confident that this is climate change that is now reaching one of the remotest parts of the planet.
Now, also according to Sky News, climate scientists continue to push the world for more progressive measures to fight global warming. In fact, after an enormous iceberg up to the quarter of the size of Wales has appeared to break off from the shelf there in increasing frequency, the Foreign Office commissioned this specific review, which has confirmed that extreme events are happening more often and are very more intense. The scientists also warned of a dramatic collapse of ice shelves on the Antarctic Peninsula and the Conger Ice Shelf in East Antarctica, which can push up atmospheric and ice temperatures. Ice shelves are the part of the glacier or ice sheet that has flowed out from the sea where they float on the surface. We've seen dramatic changes in the extent of ice shelves around Antarctica over the years, said Dr. Anna Hogg, associate professor in the School of Earth and Environment at Leeds University. The melt impacts populations that live around the coastlines all around the world via coastal flooding, erosion, and storm surges, she said. Dr. Hogg also warned of unprecedented melting of the surface of the ice that sits on land, which can either run off the ocean, warm the snowpack, or seep down and lubricate the underside of the ice, allowing it to flow faster into the ocean, which can melt it from beneath. Melting ice sheets in Greenland and Antarctica have raised global sea levels by almost 2 centimeters since the 1990s and are matching worst-case climate warming scenarios. And if these rates continue, the ice sheets are expected to raise sea levels by a further 17 centimeters and expose an additional 16 million people to annual coastal flooding by the end of the century. Now, you can find out more information about how you can take action and support stopping climate change and global warming by visiting sites like the National Resources Defense Council, who encourage you to speak up by talking to your friends and family and making sure your representatives are making good decisions, powering your home with renewable energy, weatherizing your home, investing in energy-efficient appliances, reducing water waste, and more. You can visit them at the nrsdc.org for more information. Listen, we're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll have even more of Soulivity today for our Hot Topic Friday with a story about space, the final frontier, or not really anymore. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Hi there, this is Brian with Soulivity.com. I want to share some exciting news about our new Aspire Academy by Soulivity. Now, you probably want to know what the Aspire Academy by Soulivity is. Well, it exclusively connects you with people around the globe and who share the intense desire to improve themselves and create a better life for themselves today. There's classes, there's workshops, there's live events, and even more exclusively just for you. You see, I wanted you to have a safe space where you could grow, you can learn, and it would empower you in all aspects of your life, including your mind, your body, and your soul. So how do you get started? Well, it is so easy. First of all, the best part, joining Aspire Academy is absolutely free. Just click on the Join Now button, sign up, and begin your journey. As a special part of this invitation to you, there are some free courses that are available for you to try from our amazing roster of coaches and collaborators. It's our way of saying thank you for all of your support and being with us along our journey of expansion. I hope you enjoyed the Aspire Academy by Soulivity today. Start the process. Learn more about your passion, your purpose, and how to live a higher quality life. Soulivity Today is brought to you by Assume control over your weight and broader health with the 80 Bites program by Physical Mind Institute.
For 50 years, we've been told, load up your plate with veggies. Load them up. Because all this spinach, look at it, all the spinach is only 100 calories. But avoid fat, because a tiny sliver of butter is also 100 calories. So spinach is good, butter is bad, right? But not today. Now we're told, put butter on everything, even in your coffee. Why? Because fat doesn't spike insulin, as carbs do. And stretching the stomach with all those veggies unbalances our digestive hormones. So eat healthy today means fat, fasting, stomach control, right here's the stomach. Forget calories. Hormones rule, and 80 Bites is the solution.
Are you ready to take that first step towards true, unwavering inner happiness? Are you like thousands of people who have everything they need, not want, but need, and still can't seem to find happiness and fulfillment in their lives? If so, the Steps to Happiness show is for you. On my show, you will learn about the principles and practices that lead to true inner happiness. Because guess what? It isn't found in our external environment, but within ourselves instead. Together with my guests, we will explore the latest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being practices. And together, we'll advise you on the actionable steps you can take towards a happier, more fulfilled, authentic life. So I invite you to join me each week on Soulivity TV on the Steps to Happiness show with me, Teresa Greco.
Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame. Living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. Soulivity is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us. A place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime.
And we're back with more here on Soulivity today on a Hot Topic Friday. Now, this next piece is something that I've been wanting to share for a long time now, but it couldn't happen because it just happened, I think, yesterday. I mean, like, how many times have sci-fi fans like me hear those famous words from Star Trek, Captain Kirk saying, "Space, the final frontier"? Well, our next story comes from the great state of New Mexico, where Sir Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic made history with its first commercial space flight. Yeah, we've been waiting for this for a long time. Here's more from ABC News.
I want to bring in business reporter Alexis Christoforous, astrophysicist Akeem Alusei, and aviation analyst John Nance. All are joining me now to talk about this. And John, let's start with you. Can you explain what we're seeing here? This is history.
That backflip all the way around and orient us.
It is history, and I'm envious. Being an aviator my entire life, this is a magnificent flight. It's short because this is suborbital. It just goes up and comes down. But they've just passed the perigee, or the apogee rather, at almost 89 kilometers, and it's been very successful in terms of the drop, the ignition of the engine, and the powering up to that altitude. Now we see the tail flipped up, basically the feather, as they call it, and that's one of the most brilliant designs here of this thing, is the fact that it can take the buildup of speed and attenuate it so that they don't have a heat problem in terms of reentry.
It's really incredible how far we've come, and that we're able to now put civilians into space. Akeem, let's move over to you. And what kind of forces are the passengers being subjected to right now?
Space travel, right?
Well, believe it or not, they're still subjected to gravity, but they're in the process of falling, so you're weightless, right? So, you only feel your weight if there's something under your feet. And I think what they're really being subjected to, based on the looks of their faces, is wonder and awe. I mean, this is amazing. And I can imagine, right? What do you do? Do you look at space? Do you look at the Earth? It seems like they've clearly chosen to look at the Earth. I've never had the experience, but it looks absolutely wonderful.
It really does. Just to see Earth from that vantage point would really change your life, John. But you always wonder about the safety in these instances. What safeguards are in place in case something goes wrong?
Well, there are a lot of backup systems. I mean, there's some that you can't really have a backup system for, and that is the cabin pressure, because they're not wearing spacesuits. But this is a very, very carefully engineered craft, and it's passed just a myriad of tests in the past, not just being shot up into orbit once before, not into orbit, but suborbit, but also the fact that the FAA has been hand in glove with them the whole way. I don't think there's anything that hasn't been done to assure that, not only in terms of flight control, but in terms of life.
I have been I've been a NASA fan for a long, long time, and to see something like this happen with Virgin Galactic, bravo to Sir Richard Branson for putting this together. I remember as a kid watching the Apollo, the later Apollo missions, the ones that came after the ones to the moon, and reading about the Mercury missions and the unknown heroes, the African-American women that were part of NASA during that time. I mean, our parents were really big about letting us know about all the history of our people and how they affected things that came in the future. I mean, a lot of things came from NASA, and I'm sure that there's going to be even more great things coming from Virgin Galactic in terms of the discoveries that they make as they're building the spacecraft, I should say, and carrying more people to space. Now, according to CNN, the space flight carried 3 customers: entrepreneur and health and wellness coach Keisha Schaaf and her daughter Anastasia Myers, the first space travelers from Antigua who won their seats in a fundraiser drawing as well as former Olympian John Goodwin, who completed as a canoeist in the 1979 Munich Summer Games. Goodwin became the second person with Parkinson's disease to travel to space. How cool is that? Now, the group's journey began at Virgin Galactic Spaceport in New Mexico, where the passengers boarded the VSS Unity as it sat attached beneath the wing of the mothership called the VMS Eve. Now, VMS Eve took off much like an airplane, barreling down a runway before ascending to more than 40,000 feet, or just over 12,000 meters for those of you on the other side of the pond. After reaching its designated altitude, VMS Eve released the VSS Unity, which then fired its rocket engine for about 1 minute as it swooped directly upward, sending it vaulting toward the stars. Now, carrying its first tourist is a massive milestone for Virgin Galactic, which was founded in 2004 and has long missed deadlines for delivering on promises to conduct frequent trips to the edge of space. Now that it's operational, the company can turn toward its lengthy backlog of customers who have signed up for a flight. Now, Virgin Galactic has sold about 800 tickets, including 600 at prices up to, wait for it, $250,000. Now, another couple hundred have bought at $450,000 per ticket. I mean, I don't think this is going to be available to any of us anytime soon, but great for those 800 people. Now, during a August 4th call with investors, CEO Michael Koglazer called the company's recent successes an outstanding achievement. I couldn't agree more on that. He said, I've always wanted to go to space. As I said before, I love learning about the Mercury missions and catching some of the Apollo missions in early years. I'm hoping that this milestone for Virgin Galactic will again lead to more discoveries and advancements for all of us on planet Earth and beyond. Well, everyone, we're going to take another short break. But when we come back to Soulivity today, we'll talk about a little bit about this next story, which I'm sure is to pull your heartstrings. It's so cute. I really wanted to bring this story to you today. And so we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back with more of Soulivity Today. Soulivity Today is brought to you by Happy Travelers Tours and Old Vine Wine Tours. Find all of the Satana products at our Go shop at go.soulivity.com.
Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame, living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. Soulivity is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us, a place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime.
Hi there, this is Brian with Soulivity.com. I want to share some exciting news about our new Aspire Academy by Soulivity. Now, you probably want to know what the Aspire Academy by Soulivity is. Well, it exclusively connects you with people around the globe and who share the intense desire to improve themselves and create a better life for themselves today. There's classes, there's workshops, there's live events, and even more exclusively just for you. You see, I wanted you to have a safe space where you could grow, you can learn, and it would empower you in all aspects of your life, including your mind, your body, and your soul. So how do you get started? Well, it is so easy. First of all, the best part, joining Aspire Academy is absolutely free. Just click on the Join Now button, sign up, and begin your journey. As a special part of this invitation to you, there are some free courses that are available for you to try from our amazing roster of coaches and collaborators. It's our way of saying thank you for all of your support and being with us along our journey of expansion. I hope you enjoy the Aspire Academy by Soulivity today. Start the process. Learn more about your passion, your purpose, and how to live a higher quality life.
Hi there, Sheila Applegate here with some exciting news. I've joined the incredible Soulivity team as the host of the new Consciously Awesome live show, where I will be sharing insights to help you discover your full brilliance and claim the vibrant life you deserve. So tune in every Wednesday right here on Soulivity TV to join the fun, and remember to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an awesome week, and I will see you on Wednesday.
6 years ago, when I started Soulivity, my vision was to support everyone in improving their life through the discovery of their passion and purpose, so they could become the best version of themselves, to battle fear and ignorance, and create a better world today. Get inspired to live your passion and purpose. Visit Soulivity.com now.
Hey there, we're back with more of Soulivity today. This next story is really going to push your heartstrings to the limit. And do you remember when you were young and in love? I mean, I sure do. I mean, back in those days, we would call it puppy love because our parents thought we were way too young to really know what love really is. We were just all in our feelings, right? Now, thinking that we were ready to run the world, we just didn't care. But sometimes, just sometimes, when you're young, the love you feel is truly real. And this story that we're about to air for you comes from CBS Sunday Morning. And it was on their show, I think about a year ago. We thought it was so good, we would share it with you today. So enjoy.
From Steve Hartman this morning, proof that love does indeed conquer all.
For most of her adult life, 69-year-old Jean Gustafson has suffered from chronic regret.
Can't turn back the clock. I wish I could.
Would you do anything different?
Yes, I would have married him. I would have married him.
As we first reported a few months ago, what Jean so regrets is breaking up with her college sweetheart.
So this was the spring of '72.
A guy she met in the German club at Loyola University in Chicago.
This is Steve and I in the back here.
Jean says he would have made the perfect husband.
A lot of memories here.
If only he'd been white.
My mother was absolutely livid. I mean,
What did she say?
what didn't she say? How could I disgrace the family? It was not pretty.
Partly because of those pressures, Jean broke up with Steve Watts and never saw him again. Until last year, when she tracked him down at this Chicago nursing home.
What I found was sort of a broken man.
Like Jean, Steve was divorced with no kids. But life for him had been much harder. He'd fallen on terrible times. He was homeless, had 2 strokes, and was almost unrecognizable the day Jean walked back into his life.
But he's still the wonderful, gorgeous man that I knew.
Did all those feelings come rushing back?
Yes, for both of us.
And so, with her mother no longer in the way, Jean made arrangements to move Steve from the nursing home to her home in Portland, Oregon.
Sleeping. I feel terribly lucky that I get a second chance. Steve?
Steve's health issues have left him bedridden, but his mind is sharp and his heart young. In fact, if you listen closely, you can still hear his devotion, unwavering after all these years.
Always love you.
Racism drove its wedge, and love wormed its way back, permanently. A few weeks ago, 43 years after her mom laid their love asunder, Jean and Steve were married. Newlyweds, now well on their way to making up for a lifetime of lost time.
Don't you just love it? Oh man, that one always gets me emotional. I'm glad we shared it today. Now, according to the Washington Post, the beautiful couple said, "I do," October 15th, 2022. About 65 guests at their home. Jean said, "We can spend the rest of our lives together making plans." She added, "I gladly took his last name. I wanted it for so long. And now we celebrate this beautiful, long-awaited union, with them." I want to add some really important context to this story. It's only been in recent history that interracial marriage has been accepted. In Illinois, an 1829 law stated no person of color, Negro, or mulatto shall marry any white person. But laws there against interracial marriages were repealed in 1874, never to be resurrected. This didn't stop the rest of the country to suppress these unions. Interracial marriage continued to be prohibited in much of the rest of the country until the 1967 U.S. Supreme Court decision in Loving versus Virginia. As an example, the Chicago Daily News Almanac and Yearbook for 1910 shows that 28 states banned interracial marriage. The Arizona Supreme Court even ruled in 1942 that a mixed-race person could not marry anybody. So the pressure that this couple felt in 1971 was very real and painful. It wasn't a matter of, well, forget everyone. There were real consequences socially for people who entered into interracial marriage that continued a legacy of reprisal for these couples. For example, boxing great Jack Johnson, in the sports champion between 1908 and 1915, felt the wrath of some local white officials who were infuriated by him having white girlfriends, and in 3 cases, marrying them. In 1913, Johnson, who lived in Brownsville at the time, was convicted of transporting a white prostitute from Pittsburgh to Chicago, a Mann Act charge that was motivated by public outrage over his marriages to white women, unquote. Said Ken Burns in his documentary, Unforgivable Blackness. Johnson was sentenced to a year and a day in violation of the Mann Act, which was also known as the White Slave Traffic Act. Johnson is buried in Graceland Cemetery near his first wife, Etta DeVeria, a white socialite he met in 1909 in Brooklyn. Now, today, some 19% of marriages over a recent 5-year period in the Chicago area were between people of different races and ethnicities, according to Pew Research. So there is hope. Well, listen, everybody, we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back with even more on Soulivity Today. We'll be back in a few. Soulivity Today is brought to you by Assume control over your weight and broader health with the 80 Bites program by Physical Mind Institute.
For 50 years, we've been told, load up your plate with veggies. Load them up. Because all this spinach, look at it, all the spinach is only 100 calories. But avoid fat, because a tiny sliver of butter is also 100 calories. So spinach is good, butter is bad, right? But not today. Now we're told, put butter on everything, even in your coffee. Why? Because fat doesn't spike insulin, as carbs do. And stretching the stomach with all those veggies unbalances our digestive hormones. So eat healthy today means fat, fasting, stomach control, right here's the stomach. Forget calories. Hormones rule, and 80 Bites is the solution.
Are you ready to take that first step towards true, unwavering inner happiness? Are you like thousands of people who have everything they need, not want, but need, and still can't seem to find happiness and fulfillment in their lives? If so, the Steps to Happiness show is for you. On my show, you will learn about the principles and practices that lead to true inner happiness. Because guess what? It isn't found in our external environment, but within ourselves instead. Together with my guests, we will explore the latest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being practices, and together we'll advise you on the actionable steps you can take towards a happier, more fulfilled, authentic life. So I invite you to join me each week on Soulivity TV on the Steps to Happiness show with me, Teresa Greco.
Well, we're back with more of Soulivity Today. As many of you know, we do special exposés and stories and features on special people that relate to our credo here, which is passion, purpose, and living. You know, you find out what you love to do and that you would do regardless of material gain. You use that to serve other people, specifically like in your local community, which is your purpose. And then having all that come together with a little help, a little lessons learned, and some development here or there creates a best life today, which is living, not surviving, living. And it's indeed our hope that through all this, you go from living to thriving. Well, one of these such people that we interviewed recently was wellness expert Milana Snow. Known her for a while now, and I've always wanted to sit down and kind of talk to her about her life, her life's journey. And we have an exclusive interview with her in at soulivity.com that I want to share a little bit of that clip with you. Milana Snow, I have been waiting for this interview with you for a long time. I think many of the things that you are doing in your life kind of embody everything that Soulivity.com is about. And so I followed you for a long time. We've even had conversations over the internet about all different kinds of things. I feel as though you're like one of my dearest friends now, even though I haven't met you in person yet. And so I'm glad that you're here. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. We're long overdue. I appreciate you inviting me to be here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I typically ask this question last, but when I was feeling my way through how I wanted to interview you, I decided to ask you this question first. And that is, I mean, you've been so successful as a healer, as a teacher, as an entrepreneur, also as a woman of color, because I also want to bring that piece into it as well. How does it feel for you to be at this point in your journey?
That's a great question. Well, thank you for that reflection. I think for me, it's all about it being a journey. There is never an end post. There's never a thing that says, and now I've got it.
Yeah.
And I
right.
think I appreciate that about life, and I appreciate that about the way that I've kind of taken on my vision. My vision is always expanding, and so I believe a part of my purpose is to be loyal and persistent in fulfilling my reason for being here on the planet, and I'm informed by that and understand that more and more every single day. So I really do my best to make every day a new opportunity, every moment a new opportunity for something new to come through me. And that can be very vulnerable, and that can be very enlivening and challenging and beautiful. So I don't tend to look at myself as in terms of like measuring success. I tend to really just take every day and every opportunity that feels like it's coming through me as kind of a new beginning and a new start. And so that's kind of what I feel like on a day-to-day basis.
Wow. I mean, and that's so cool because I guess when I talk to people that I come to, meet throughout Soulivity, we talk about that, right? And that there's never this kind of like, people think about, oh, when I reach this thing, then I'll know that I've reached a certain level and that kind of thing. And I'm like, well, what really it feels like is that you're on this journey, and that there's like all this range of emotion that you go through as you're going through it, right? Happy, joy, sadness, tranquility, peace. I mean, a whole bunch of different things. So thanks for that. I just, now you can catch more of that great interview with Milana Snow by going to soulivity.com today. Wow. Oh man, so much to talk about in so little time. Well, I am so glad that you made it here today for another Hot Topics Friday. And this is how we do it every Friday. So we'll see you back here next week for more news and topics from around the world. Now, before I let you go, I want to let you know about some amazing things we're doing at Soulivity, where you can catch our latest travel stories from our resident travel guru, Gaia. She's got this great story that's here where you can learn more about a perfect week in sun and surf in Algarve, Portugal. She gives us great tips and recommendations around, seeing this place and seeing the rest of the world. You can catch her latest column in Gaia on the Go, where she takes us to these beautiful shores, and you can read more about it on soulivity.com. Speaking of soulivity.com, did you know that you can listen to all of our Soulivity shows? If you go to soulivity.com/Soulivity today, you can listen to them now. Also, while you're there, please visit our sponsors, Old Vine Wine Tours and 80 Bites. They are amazing partners, and they're doing some amazing things, and you won't be disappointed. So please remember to follow them on, go there, check them out, and follow them as well. Additionally, please follow us on social media and join our mailing list by visiting our Soulivity Today site now. As I just mentioned before, we're on Facebook, Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, and Threads. Yeah, we're on Threads now too. Remember, if you go to our YouTube site, subscribe, and you'll get alerts every time we go live. So I want to remind you of that. Listen, everyone, again, thank you for joining us. This is how we do it every day as well. We're bringing you news, information, and topics that empower you every single day. We hope that you come back and join us every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern for our live broadcast on Soulivity TV, or you can join us at 8 a.m. Pacific time on KMET 1490 AM radio for all of you on the West Coast. Now, listen, until next time, keep having real conversations with passion and purpose and create a life full of high quality living today. We will see you next time. Bye for now.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this is expressly prohibited unless Affinity Global LLC has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
Hi there, this is Brian with Soulivity.com. I want to share some exciting news about our new Aspire Academy by Soulivity. Now, you probably want to know what the Aspire Academy by Soulivity is. Well, it exclusively connects you with people around the globe and who share the intense desire to improve themselves and create a better life for themselves today. There's classes, there's workshops, there's live events, and even more exclusively just for you. You see, I wanted you to have a safe space where you could grow, you can learn, and it would empower you in all aspects of your life, including your mind, your body, and your soul. So how do you get started? Well, it is so easy. First of all, the best part, joining Aspire Academy is absolutely free. Just click on the Join Now button, sign up, and begin your journey. As a special part of this invitation to you, there are some free courses that are available for you to try from our amazing roster of coaches and collaborators. It's our way of saying thank you for all of your support and being with us along our journey of expansion. I hope you enjoy the Aspire Academy by Soulivity today. Start the process. Learn more about your passion, your purpose, and how to live a higher quality life. You can learn more about the Aspire Academy by visiting aspire.soulivity.com